Hey everyone, it's Froggy, and I'm back again with another episode of the second reproduction. So today we are going to be asking someone out to play, and we should have, Lezette. Let's ask Lezette out to play. Where are we going? Let's see. We'll think about it while we walk. Yes, my princess. Oh, he's so cute. Okay, so we're gonna go to the pub. Did you come for a drink too? You're the most laid-back king I've ever met. You could easily hold a huge feast in your castle and invite every girl in the land if you wanted to. Why come here instead? Phew, I'm not really attracted to any of those women, so it just causes problems. Maybe it's because a certain silver-haired maiden caught my eye. Are you drunk? Yeah, I am. Drunken by your beauty, that is. How do you keep coming up with such embarrassing things to say? Well, unfortunately for you, I'm not the type of woman who goes weak at the knees the moment she hears something mushy. Then what should I say? What will make you happy? Go flirt with some other women if you're that bored. I'm not. I'm just sad that the woman I love is being so cold. Get away from me, you idiot! People are staring at us. But I'm not going to touch you. I just want to get closer to you and look into your eyes. Now I don't feel like drinking anymore. I can help with that. I'll use my mouth. Gardus, you pervert! Idiot! I don't care anymore. Chris. I can't tell if he's serious or not. Okay, let's see. Let's head to the pub again. Oh, that's right. I wonder if I have something Lezette might like. No, let's just talk. Oh yeah, it's almost your birthday, isn't it? Now that you mention it. It is, yeah. I'd completely forgotten about that. Is there anything you'd like? Huh? No, of course not. I wouldn't dare trouble you by asking for a present. You say that every year. Oh, there's a point. What did I give you last year? A pendant in the shape of the divine bird. Remember? We used to be together all the time. So the one time I had to leave for battle, you gave me that pendant and told me to think of you. Oh, right. I remember now. Yeah, if it wasn't for your pendant, princess, I'd be long gone. Don't be silly. It was just a pendant. No, I was in serious trouble during one part of the battle. An enemy soldier tried to stab me with a spear, and I couldn't dodge it in time. I was sure I was going to die, but actually, it hit the pendant you gave me instead. Did something that dangerous really happen? Why didn't you mention it before? You see, the pendant shattered from the blow, and I couldn't bring myself to tell you it broke. But at the time, I really did believe you'd protected me, princess. Even though it looked so fragile, it still managed to protect me from something like that. I felt blessed, to say the least. Well, I think it saved you because it was really expensive. I put all my feelings into it. Come on. Huh? The night before you left, I prayed and prayed for your safe return. I'm sure you were saved because Lame was listening. Thank you. All right, I'll get you a new one. Think of me again and look after it, okay? But if I did that, the divine bird Lame would get angry at me. Huh? Why? It's a secret. I looked at the city from my window and let out a small sigh. Did things look different depending on your mood? When I first came here, the city felt so dark and ominous, but now it looked beautiful and grand. It was approaching dinner time and smoke was floating out of the chimneys around the residential area. Every single one of those roofs had someone living underneath. living their daily life in peace. For some reason, that thought made me happy. As I continued to enjoy the view, I heard someone knock on my door. Curious, I turned around. I asked them to come in, expecting it to be Kiria, but... Excuse me, Your Highness.
あなたは
It was a woman I'd never seen before. Was Kiria too busy to come today? Maybe she asked someone to replace her without telling me. The woman had her head bowed and wore a thick hood, looking utterly unlike anyone I'd seen in the castle. Feeling somewhat suspicious, I got up and approached her. Your Highness, I have brought a letter from Our Majesty.
もしやお前は
Please keep your voice down, Your Highness. I came alone, and would like to avoid any meaningless bloodshed.
暗殺に失敗した私を
No, my purpose is to deliver this.
これは
I took the envelope from the woman and looked up, intending to ask her what was inside, but the woman had already vanished. She really had been ordered to just deliver a letter. Bewildered, I nervously cut the seal and slipped out its contents. Each page was covered with familiar handwriting, to my beloved daughter Christina. Yes, this was my mother's handwriting without a doubt. My heart thumped, anticipation and unease mixing in my chest. No matter how severe my mother's words will be, I'll keep reading and accept them without complaint. With that thought in mind, I gulped and began to read.
親愛なる娘クリスティーナへ
To my beloved daughter Christina, ever since you began your journey over 4 months ago, not a day has passed without your absence passing through my mind, and I am constantly reminded of just how much I miss you. After I received word of your imprisonment, I found myself sick with worry. I fear you must be suffering dearly.
母様
I hadn't seen Mother's handwriting in a long time. It touched my heart and warmed my chest. But at the same time, it made me feel guilty, reminding me of my failure. I didn't want to kill Gardas anymore, but I didn't want to go against my duty either. I was caught between a rock and a hard place, as though I was suffocating. I wonder if the whole letter was going to be about Mother's laments. But when I turned to the next page... My body froze as though a bucket of cold water had been tipped over me.
だが
With a trembling voice, I continued to read Mother's handwriting. However, as the Queen, I must order you. If you have any pride remaining as a daughter of the royal family, please die with honor rather than live in humiliation. I was only halfway through, but the letter fell from my frozen hands. My mother had just told me to end my life. She hadn't mentioned any reason specifically, but I understood why she asked. If I was used as a hostage when the Alliance army attacked, things would go from bad to worse. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that was quite popular with the subjects of Amanan, and with subjects of other countries too, thanks to my campaigns against demon kingdoms far away from my own. If Mother had to abandon me and go ahead with her attack, her reputation around the world would plummet. So in her eyes, I was better off dead than a prisoner. Announcing that our princess risked her life for the sake of the world, but tragically fell into the hands of the Demon Lord, would surely rouse up enough morale to give Almanan and its allies a huge boost when they went to war.
母様
Maybe somewhere deep inside me, I knew a day like this would come. A day where my mother would abandon me for the greater good. But now that it had finally come, it was far more painful than I'd ever imagined. I felt like my heart was being shattered. I'd clinged to my mother's love for more than I realized, and the tears wouldn't stop rolling down my cheeks. I couldn't think straight. My mind had gone numb from the shock. With trembling legs, I slowly began to walk forwards, my head barely registering anything. Mummy, what are we having for dinner? We're having your favorite tonight. I walked past the courtyard, barely registering my surroundings. A mother and child brushed past me, the very picture of a warm, happy family, as if to taunt me. They're evil, and I must kill them. That's what Mother had always taught me. But I couldn't do that anymore. And yet, if I didn't do it, I'd be betraying everyone in my kingdom. That fear still lingered within me. With those thoughts spinning inside my head, I continued searching for an answer I'd never find.
違う。私は
All I wanted was the hope of a world where humans and demons could coexist. No, just by thinking that, I'd probably betrayed the hopes of my mother and my kingdom. It really was a conundrum. I laughed out of self-mockery, staring up at the sky that was slowly turning into night. As I gazed down, a hill covered with trees came into view. I could vaguely remember Kiria mentioning that there was a lake on top of that hill. I didn't really have a clear idea as to what I was going to do, but I just wanted to go somewhere quiet, where I could be alone. Oh, pretty. The lake was a beautiful, serene place, just like I'd heard. It wasn't very big. You could walk around it in a few minutes. But the moon's fragile reflection dancing on the lake's surface, with the mystical, clear water lapping against the banks, made me fall in love with it. A breeze passed over the water's surface, brushing against my cheeks. As I gazed at the scenery, I felt my dilemma slowly crawl back into my mind, weighing down on my thoughts again. Unable to hold it in any longer, I muttered something to myself as though it would relieve all my inner pain.
私は帰る国をなくしてしまったのだな。
Regret filled me as I spoke those forbidden words. I couldn't deny it anymore. As that reality became more and more ingrained into my mind, I felt my chest tighten. The lake before me seemed so blue, so deep, and so utterly clear. If I were to sink to the bottom of the lake, then I'm sure all of my confusion and misery would slowly float away, washing all the pain away from me. My heart was tired, and it was whispering to me, gently telling me to run away from all of the pain. I surrendered myself to that whisper, and slowly walked towards the lake like a marionette. My knees, my thighs, my waist, my chest, one after the other, they all sank below the water. But right then...
姫様!
The cry threw me back to reality, and I suddenly felt someone hook their arms under my armpits, immobilizing me. I didn't have to turn around to know who it was.
止めるなレセット。私はもう魔族を殺すことはできない。そのような気持ちを抱えたまま祖国に帰ることも許されはしない。だから。
おやめください、姫様。姫様が死ねば俺も後を追いますよ。
バカなことを。お前が死ぬ理由などどこにもないだろ。
俺が生きる唯一の理由は姫様なんで。その姫様がいなくなるのに生きていくなんてできない。死ねと言われるのよりよほど地獄です。以前言いましたよね。姫様が死ねば俺は世界すべてを恨むと。俺にこの世を恨ませないでください。
レセット。
Lezette's voice slowly brought me back to my senses. It was only then that I realized I'd tried to do something absurdly stupid. Lezette was pleading over and over, his voice trembling and choked with tears. I'd sworn to never let his warm voice become tainted with sorrow, but what I'd done just now had really hurt him.
すまない、レセット。私はなんて愚かな真似を。
Now that I could step back and take a moment to think things through, I couldn't understand why I'd wanted to die. Yes, I had suffered a horrible shock, but normally I'd get over it. This time, I came to the stupid conclusion that there was no other way. As if I'd been trapped in a room with no doors or windows, my mind completely void of a way to escape.
なぜ
I lowered my head, wallowing in my own idiocy. After I'd looked back up, I heard Lezette click his tongue and mutter to himself.
こんな仕掛けをしてるなんて。
レセット
I called out to him, uneasy, but Lezette didn't answer. He let go of me and gave his usual smile instead.
さあ姫様、こうしていてはお体が冷えてしまいます。早く上がりましょう。
ああ
His beautiful smile seemed devoid of a motive, and I began to wonder if I was just thinking too hard. Tilting my head in thought, I decided not to pursue it further. And I'm gonna go ahead and end this episode here for today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos like this one, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.